it's really fun to watch him actually. Yeah.
Well, we'll see if Lee Sin actually gets through. We are going to pick some bands here. Rumble, Zed, Dr. Mundo, very different bands to what we saw in game number 1 today, that first quarterfinal. Azia, Na, Lissandra taken away, so lot left open there, and Janna will be the first pick for TPA.
Janna's always a super good first pick because she counters a lot of stuff, and I mean, you leave off Kassadin. Kassadin is kind of in the first pick or ban status right now because of his flex pick availability. While, yeah, there are a lot of stuff, there are a lot of picks open actually, like Rumble. Rumble's banned, I mean, Jarvan, obviously. Jarvan and Rek'Sai is open too. Yeah. So we have a lot of open stuff right now. Sivir, obviously, the top tier choice right now for AD carries. Isn't being picked, but I completely agree with here, like locking in Jarvan right now, especially when you want to go for that wombo combo potentially.
Yeah, I was surprised. I mean, looking at Avant Garde, they've got kind of the standard bans you would expect, but actually Taipei Assassins were a little bit weird. I mean, the Zed ban, we just saw how great that could be for Yowie Flash Walls, but a Mundo ban, haven't seen that one in a while, and the Rumble ban. But it did leave, of course, Kassadin, who you would expect to be in that ban pool, and Jarvan open, insta-locking them in there. And well, surprise to follow on. Are they going to go for Sivir? Sivir seems to be the big AD carrier of choice. Rek'Sai, of course, being left open, so literally anything they want for the jungle outside of Jarvan is a possibility. Victor hovered over. I'm not too sure we're going to see that one.
Damn, they locked in Corki. So Corki actually saw like a lot of decrease in popularity on this patch, simply because they just nerfed his W cost from 50 to 100 mana, and it pretty much put up Sivir and Kalista actually, but Kalista is, I think, like disabled due to a bug on the passive. Sees a lot of play too right now, so what we see is usually just a very quick Sivir login to kind of like go with comps, like we saw the Rengar.
Yeah.
The movement speed composition is really good, but yeah, Jarvan is the only jungler that does well against Janna because he can lock them down, and even when he gets Monsood out, it's usually they're still locked into place. That's why Jarvan is like a really good power pick, and I agree with over the Rek'Sai pick here too, because it opens up a lot more of these picks right now. And we actually see in Ezreal too, so maybe it's a flex pick, so they can still choose like top lane and mid lane as a last pick, depending on how the matchup goes. And we just have to see how TPA wants to have their solo lanes right
They've got a very mobile team right now, Avant Garde, actually.
So
they can be zipping around the map. We're seeing, of course, they're going to be locking in a moment. But just to also inform you guys, it is 5.1 patch we're playing on, and Maokai is disabled, as he was, of course, throughout the ranks. So no surprises there, which is why we're not seeing any pick and bans for that. But LeBlanc being locked in there, and a Lulu. So we're going to be seeing a Lulu in the top lane, potentially, or are we going to have yet another Trinity Force LeBlanc?
I think that Kassan is really good against both champions, I think. Like, Kassan doesn't really have a bad matchup, and if they lock in the Irelia right now, that means Kassan goes mid lane, and he should be fairly safe actually in mid lane. He just farms up against both. He hard counters LeBlanc in lane, and he can go 50-50 against Lulu. We just saw it last game, even when people still think that, yeah, Lulu has like auto tags and can harass Kassadin. It's still a 50-50 game, and Kassan scales a lot harder with 2 items than anyone else in the mid lane right now, pretty much. That's why he's such a popular pick. And if they lock in that Irelia, then I'm not sure how, like, who should stop Irelia right now in the lane. She does very well against Lulu and LeBlanc together, especially when paired with the Jarvan pressure. But yeah, we have every champion locked in right now, and I'm actually gonna, like, we actually have to see how that works out. And Lulu and Rek'Sai together, you can have a lot of good engages with it, with the speed up, double knock-up compositions potentially, and yeah, I'm not sure how that works out. I think Avant actually won the draft pretty hard, in my opinion, but TPA is supposedly the better team here from those two.
Yeah, and this is actually, I think, maybe even a harder one to call than the last one, because, you know, this is two very different regions. I mean, we obviously were looking at Southeast Asia LMS and, of course, GPL in our last game. But, you know, this one we've got a team from Australia, from the Oceanic region, up against Taipei Assassins, who, by the way, are just crushing right now.
I mean, they always have to for years. They have been the #1 team in Taipei. In the league, obviously in Taipei, derp. But within that league, I mean, let's face it, they were the Season 2 World Champions. They came out of the blue, completely caught us off guard. But actually, you know, we saw them at Worlds. It was pretty much the same team now. There is they used to have I think Morning played the mid for most of Worlds. Chowie played one game, I think, which was a Syndra match, if I recall. Chowie now is the main mid laner. Morning has moved to that top lane. So there's a couple of changes within the team, but as you said, Wins is still there. They've still got the same... actually, the new guy is Lupin. Lupin's the new guy, because Bebe has retired now, so no longer in there. So that's... Boom! All the world champions are out. They're actually in Hong Kong esports now, I think it is. You got Stanley and toys and everything that's gone over there, so we'll see how that works out. They're not in this tournament, though. We do have a pause on your screen. You can see, of course, Avant Garde. And speaking of new players for Avant Garde, they've also got new guys who's... Mazu, I think I'm going to go with Mazu as the pronunciation on that one, and Junie, the other support alongside him. These are completely new guys. It's like it's a fairly new Avant-Garde roster. Now the Oceanic region has only just had their qualifiers. Yep. They haven't actually kickstarted the league yet. Obviously the LCS kicked off. I think they're going along roughly the same schedule. So I'm wondering if they're like going through that practice phase that you obviously teams are trying to build up to, or whether they're not got the match fitness, I guess you would call it, if it was we were talking football. Whereas TPA, they're 3 weeks, 4 weeks already into their season. They've already got the stride. They're prepared in this patch. They know what's going on. That's why I'm saying that TPA have been the massive favourites coming into this one, because their region has shown themselves in the World Championships.
Yeah, they're beating everyone on a home soil, and obviously you're gonna then think, okay, they're the big favourites to come through in this one.
I mean, if you were to rank a league, Southeast Asia at the end of the day gets 2 spots to the World Championships. Australia has to go through the wildcard tournament. So in terms of ranking a league, they are a lot higher.
Which they didn't manage to get through either this year. Of course, it was Dark Passage that won the wildcard tournament. So we'll see. We'll see how strong Avant Garde here. I mean, we've just had Australia Day, so maybe they're hopefully sober by now. Never count that one out on them big days, Australians.
We're English. We're allowed to.
Or English, Well, I mean, we're exactly the same, aren't we? So that's it's not much of a big difference, but should be an interesting one, this one. Wondering who's going to go through. Obviously, it's Saigon Jokers in the semi-final on this side of the bracket. So, they might be feeling Taipei Assassins there. Obviously, you've got some experience with Saigon Jokers as well from past years. But there's the bracket. You can see, obviously, Yowie Flash Wolves beat the Bangkok Titans earlier on 2-0. They'll play AHQ Esports Club tomorrow. I think that's actually the first game as well of tomorrow. And then, of course, Taipei Assassins versus Avant Garde coming up here in just a second. Winner of that will go on to play the Saigon Jokers. Winner of the whole thing will get a spot at the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship in Katowice in March.
Which Taipei Assassins obviously got last year as well. They were there. They caused a few upsets. I remember Morning completely destroying Alex Ich for that one day only, because they got their revenge the next day, and Gambit is the usual case of they bite back, as it were. But that was actually, I think that was Alex's last tournament for Gambit as well.
Yeah, I think that was like the first downfall, really, of Alex Ich. We'll see if we get to see any more from him in the future. That's certainly I think Alex Ich's fall from grace, so to speak, is maybe harder than any other professional player.
Yeah, well, I mean, Ocelot's with us.
Wow.
But anyway, I want to move on to something else, which is talking about the jungle. Obviously, the current state of the jungle. There's been a hell of a lot of changes in the jungle, and of course, we have Dexter with us to discuss these things. We were talking with Ocelot about Rek'Sai obviously being a favorite, did get picked once again here. So how do we rate the jungle right now? Obviously, they've had a bunch of changes with items. First, we had the hatchet. Everybody picked the hatchet. Then they nerfed the hatchet. Everybody picked the smite. What's the cult? Is it called? The chilling embrace. Yeah. Everybody's. Then they nerf that. So I mean, how do we rate the jungle right now?
In terms of picks, I think on this patch where we're playing right now, 5.1, Rek'Sai is probably like the Rek'Sai tier. It's like
on his own tier. Okay.
Own tier. And then as a second tier, you have like Jarvan and Lee Sin probably. Both are really good, and if you look at win stats across like all regions, against each other, they actually have like a close 50-50%. So it all comes down to who can play better. And then if you watch at European and North American LCS, we have like some team compositions that Jarvan opens up, like the Gnavan, that's like the famous one, has like 100% win rate right now. So it's all a matter of how the teams play it out, and whereas Lee Sin is better in like more mobility comms with like catch comms with Kassadin. But yeah, those two junglers are like the next tier, and then everything else, like maybe Rengar. Rengar fits in too. We see a lot of Rengar play, but he doesn't really have that impressive win rates, simply because when you like, I was actually discussing this and came to the conclusion that the better team that has Rengar, like when the both teams play against each other and the better team has Rengar, Rengar crushes absolutely everything. But that's just a matter of how you play it as a pick as a team. Like Rengar is too team dependent to actually do something on his own. So when you have good vision control and you're the better team, then Rengar looks really good. But if you're on the losing end, then Rengar just looks completely awful, which we've seen like North American LCS.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
10% win or something.
The problem with Rengar is that you have to commit, you have to go in. If the team's not going to back you up, then you're just going to die and you're just going to look a fool.
And obviously he fits a very good composition right now with Sivir and Lulu being kind of like Lulu is coming back right now due to the rise of popularity of Sivir, and the speed up comps are really, really good. And Rengar fits in there very nicely for as a hard engage. But yeah, other than that, those 4 junglers are probably like the top 4 right now, and then everything else is just one tier, like pretty much everything, like Elise, Pantheon, and maybe even Vi, but we haven't seen a lot of Vi play. I only saw St. Vicious play her, like where they crushed C9. But yeah, everything else is just pretty much below those top 4 junglers right now on one tier.
You can see Dave's just working out the kinks and technical difficulties on Avant side, it seems. Oh no, it's not. It's on TPA side now, actually. They were Avant side, now they're TPA side. So there's a couple of things being changed around. Of course, that is always the case when we're at these live events. We are, of course, sat in Cologne. We're not in Taipei. These guys on your screen are in Taipei. The Australians flying in there onto TPA's home turf. No doubt going to have a hell of a lot of home support, obviously being that #1 team for so many years. It'd be the equivalent of the TSMs playing in North America and some visitors coming over to play them. Speaking of which, not doing so well in the LCS, actually. What do we make of the LCS? Obviously, we've had the first week's results. What do you make of it? Obviously, you come over from North American LCS last year. You played in the EU LCS the season before it. What do you make of the changes in the teams and obviously the new order of things? We've only got a week to read into it, but you know, Cloud9, bottom of the league, crazy.
Never would have expected Cloud9 going 0-2. Like, to be honest, if you want to have like a safe bet, like which team does perform the best out of both leagues, out of both 20 teams, you pick Cloud9. Like Cloud9 is always dominance, and you know they will perform well.
Yeah. My fantasy team is literally all of Cloud9.
Well, I guess you didn't do it.
I'm kind of glad you got all the players, because I was trying to get sneaky and then he's picked it, and I was like, okay, I'll get balls in the top lane, no pick balls. And I was like, okay, probably get Meteos maybe? No, he managed to pick them up as well. So
yeah, I think the teams that really impressed in week 1, the 3 teams out of both leagues are SK Gaming, Fnatic, and Team Liquid. Team Liquid actually playing with a sub 2 and performing really well.
Well, I mean, it was the top point scorer, wasn't he? It was crazy, Keith.
He did a lot. Like he overperformed for a sub for sure. And general, Team Liquid has like the most solid team play right now, I think, in North America. Whereas in SK game, like in Europe, I think SK is like the best team right now. Probably just looking at this, how they like match up individually, and they obviously got like super good upgrades from like for Forgiven, for Candy Panda, and Fox for Jesus. So SK is doing like super good, and the new Fnatic team, no one expected them to do that well, but yeah, a lot of that has to be contributed to Yellowstar though. Like Yellowstar is probably like by far the best support in Europe right now, and he did a lot in those games where he carried the complete early game completely carried by him, and Rain over actually doing a really good job too. But yeah, I'm excited how it turns out, because people have been rumoring, Fnatic has a very one-dimensional style and are easy to figure out. But we just have to see how it progresses. And we're actually back in the game, I think.
Awesome to hear Rainover's English as well. I was like, I don't know how this one's going to turn out. Like, oh, wow, he speaks better English than me. That's pretty impressive stuff. But either way, guys, we are live here in our second quarter-final game from the Intel Extreme Masters in Taipei. It is, of course, the Taipei Assassins on home soil up against Avant from Australia.
Some funky music to go with it as well.
Where's the music from?
It's very dramatic either way. We're building up to Taipei Assassins. Let's give you a quick roster rundown through these teams. Of course, for the Taipei Assassins, it is Morning now in the top lane, although he's still playing Lulu. Maybe thinks he's in that mid still. Wins the jungler on Rek'Sai. Chowie on LeBlanc in the mid lane. We think we're going to see a very different LeBlanc this time around from the last matchup. Well, we're going to see an invade as well. Lupin on Corki and Jay on Gianna.
Very uncharacteristic that they just invade like this on red side. They're probably looking for lane swap maybe potentially with that deep wards. But we just have to... They're actually mirroring the moves right now, and we get to see deep ward from the blue side as well. So yeah, I can see a potential lane swap coming in here that are usually the signs of deep wards.
On both sides of that one. Quick rundown for Avant here. Of course, Porky in the top lane on Irelia. Chelby in the jungle on Jarvan and fourth. Kenster on Kassadin. And of course, Mazui. Mazui is what we're going for.
I think we're going Mazui.
Mazui. Mazui, hopefully. On Ezreal and Junny on Thresh. So, what are we going to see here from those early stages? Porky actually will be recalling over a ward. So, full vision offered up there to Avant-Garde, to TPA, who will spot him going there, and Porky will in fact be going towards that top lane. But of course we do have the duo on the bottom side from both teams, so it looks like actually lanes are going to come in at standard.
Well, yeah, blue side has the advantage because they got the experience from the double golems, whereas Avant's bot lane helped out their jungler, which is not something we see usually because those early level 2 games in the bot lane are just lane dependent. Like in some matchups you need the level 2 to actually do something, and you see how aggressive he just goes in already.
Do you think Mazui picked Ezreal just so he could play the TPA skin against TPA? It's just like, I'm going to do it. I can get it. I wonder if I can never remember his name. Chelby. Chelby's the new jungler we wasn't expecting. I wonder if he's picked the Fnatic Jarvan skin as well and see if they're going all the world champions in there. No, he hasn't. That's just boring.
No.
Anyway, how do we make out these lanes? What are we expecting? And actually, going back to your point, talking about the jungle, Dexter.
Yep.
How do you feel about these buddy systems that became about? That your top laner used to just basically follow you around the jungle for like the first 3 minutes of the game.
I mean, I as a jungler obviously hate it because why would the top lane just steal my farm and experience? But it's necessary because usually good teams, where like you saw how good a team is by how far ahead their top laner is to the opposite. That's how you could see how good the team plays together. But yeah, we don't really have a lane swap here, so no buddy system obviously, and we have a pause again.
Yeah, looks like Paul's going to be coming into this one. He saw that Chelby actually just stopped moving, so looks like he might have another issue, which hopefully we'll be able to sort out. Dexter, you're looking fantastic there.
Thank you.
It was the Taiwanese casters. But you are looking fantastic as well. We'll just get that one out of the way. But yeah, it looks like we are...
I'm watching the discussion. They're talking about...
Apparently they're on the wrong server, so maybe they have some hyping or something.
Well, that's not good.
It's not. That's for the admins to sort out. I'm sure they will. Maybe they've created the wrong thing. We just had the same... No, we're in the same server. We just played the last match and they never had a problem. So
yeah,
clearly something being sorted out. You can see the admins discussing it right now. The Aussies are like, it's fine, because they're used to playing in the Oceanic region. They're like, this is great.
When you auto-attack and 3 seconds later the projectile is spotted on screen, like that's when you know you're playing from Australia before they actually got themselves a server. But yeah, we should be hopefully getting this one back underway in just a few moments' time. And if you didn't know, actually the Taipei game show, which is where we're running Intel Extreme Masters, thought I was going to get to go this year, but, Carmack scuppered my plans once again. And here we are at, what time is it?
It's got to be about 6:30?
7:15 in the morning.
Oh, my word. Wow, okay.
Yeah. We were saying before the show started for Ocelot and Dexter that are actually in a hotel here. It works out kind of nice because they can go home, have breakfast in the hotel, and then actually go to sleep. Yeah.
The problem for me is I got road work going on outside my house. So yeah. So I get home and they're digging holes outside my house, which is not pleasant.
And the problem for me is that I scheduled 2 meetings for sometime 12 o'clock this afternoon, which is just a dumb thing to do in general. So yeah, obviously long day. So no, thanks for you guys that are actually sticking around, especially if you're in our time zone as well, because late nights, basically. I know some of you are going to be skipping school, which you should never do.
Or work.
But do it.
Or work,
anyway.
Yeah, so anyway, it looks like we're going to be getting back underway here. So the match is restarted. So it is Taipei Assassins versus Avant Garde. If you've just joined us, this is game 1 about to get underway, and here we go back into the game. So, of course, you can see the pictures. It is being beamed directly from Taipei, so what you see is exactly what we see. We're not, of course, there in the flesh, as it were, so we can only go by what we see on the camera.
Yeah. Communication takes a little while from over the interwebs from Taiwan, so as soon as we hear about if there are any further issues there, we can obviously let you guys know. But for now, things looking pretty good. 4 minutes into this matchup, early advantage in the bottom lane here for Lupin, already pulling a few CS ahead. It's obviously not a massive amount at this point, but we'll have to keep an eye on that, see if anything opens up. Similar story in the top lane, Lulu winning out over Irelia. Mid lane, it's Kassadin that's having the better time.
So yeah, both the junglers decided to go for the Trailblazer, which kind of signals that they just want to farm up and see, because there's like a passive game going on and they don't want to be proactive in invading. And we actually see
that's a vicious Irelia. That was what that was. Going to turn this one around, actually. Glitterlance is available. Does use those basic attacks. Porky kind of maybe bit off a little bit more than he could chew there. That shield, of course, doing work, and the fact that Morning had that big wave with him, he's just going to bully Porky away from this one. He's going to have to creep, or I think he's going to have to go the long way around here. Morning might blast that Glitterlance on him as soon as he comes back around. No, he's going to allow him to get back close to that thing. Wow, that's a really annoying sound that Irelia seems to be distorting on.
Yeah, loud.
So the good thing is Rek'Sai got actually spotted in the river. So that opened up a lot of opportunities for Jarvan to place deep wards, which he should have done. And he went for the bit of a counter jungle, where we see the ward between those two towers. That was actually really, really good to see the position of the enemy jungler. It gives like probably the most information out of any ward. So I think Avant came out slightly ahead right now.
So are they going to get this gank off in mid? Chains go down. It's on the minion though. And Chow here will be pressured. As I'm looking at the wrong screen. It's alright, I like to cast replays as well. That's something I do every now and then. And there is what actually I said was happening a few seconds before it did.
You're a miracle worker, Joe.
Yeah.
You're amazing.
Smart.
Voyeur.
Somehow, I'm not sure that's the right word.
No, I don't think it is.
Clairvoyant, I think is what you meant.
That's the one.
Rather than a voyeur. Shelby looking like he's going to go down here, and while we're babbling rubbish, that will be the first blood going over to the Taipei Assassins. Nice little pick up. I mean, all 3 of them inside the enemy jungle, just that was vision
really
win again.
But the flag kind of, I don't know what happened there. He should have went over the wall, but yeah, he was probably dead anyway. Really good roam actually by Dejana to realize that he can actually catch someone off guard there. Something
we were talking about in the last game was with the Rek'Sai. Oh, they're going to pile in. I don't think sure they're going to quite get close enough to Mazu. He will manage to get away from that one. Going back to Rek'Sai, yeah, we were talking about the tunnel systems they had in the last matchup. Looking at this one, that's much more like it from TPA. Look at all of those tunnels actually in Avant Garde's jungle that they can go to once he hits that level 6.
That's going to be really huge once he hits level 6. He has like a lot of options to go for an invade, and if he has vision over that area, he can potentially like snipe the jungler if he's low and do a camp. That happens fairly often in a new patch, whereas a jungler, you do a camp and you're like 20%, and if you're spotted on the ward and that Rek'Sai actually ultimates, then you're pretty much dead. But this also opens up the opportunity to just dive bot lane with like 4 men with the LeBlanc roam. But yeah, usually you just see very defensive tunnels, because you need to set up the tunnels. It's like the most important thing pre-6 to actually set up tunnels, so you can aid all 3 lanes at once. That's like the trick with Rek'Sai. You want to have tunnels over like spread across the whole map, so you have like a wider area to actually like focus on when you have fluid 6.
And the thing is, it obviously slows down the enemy jungler, because they have to spend those seconds to stand on the tunnels trying to get rid of it, while it's slowing them down.
It's 5 gold though, yeah.
Get the gold in. Right now, that bottom lane.
So yeah, TPA does a really good job of having the jungler and support roaming around together, which a lot of teams don't realize, that this synergy is actually fairly important to get vision control. And TPA does a really good job of just having the Dejana stay with the Rek'Sai to clear vision. And yeah, if that would if the Dejana wouldn't be there, Rek'Sai could die easily if he does it. And they're actually pushing out that's really good deep wards. They're probably aiming to get like early dragon control here.
Well, they're just bullying him away from that bottom river area. We'll get the pink ward down. There's a lot of ward being thrown out. They haven't gone for the scuttle crab yet.
Really aggressive invades here from TPA. Like it.
Not messing around, that's for sure. We're going to see Wins getting up the back, actually spotting that there is a pink ward, so just strangling them further. Wins is going to look to see what he can steal away there. Sadly for him, Wolfcamp not actually up, but he will get another ward even further in to the Avant-Garde jungle, and this is where it becomes maybe a little bit dangerous if they decide, okay, 2 vs 3, half HP Ezreal with no mana, we can probably have a go at this.
Oh, they actually get away. Yeah, we were talking about how they prepare a bot lane dive. Jarvan should have realized that and actually do the same thing on the other side of the map and prepare for the enemy blue buff.
They're going to jump on Junie. Junie's going to get locked up. He will go down. Chowie gets himself the second of the game. Teleport counter comes out from Porky. I'm not sure is what they want. They're going to try and lock on towards Wins. Wins will just walk away from this one. The counter teleport comes in from Morning. That will get cancelled off because he can push the tower. It's going to be 2 towers for TPA if they're not careful here. Avant-Garde suddenly realizing they're losing everything on the map.
Yeah. Lulu cancelling TP there was huge. She got a lot of creeps in the top lane. 15 CS almost ahead, and she gets a lot of tower damage. But yeah, the TP was a bit questionable. If she had the advantage, she could have just went to Dragon and get the Dragon and then TP top lane after the Dragon, yeah.
Not going to be able to finish off that turret either. Shelby actually coming in there just in time to stop that one from falling down. Wow.
Wow.
That was loud. I hope Rek'Sai doesn't ultimate anymore during this game. Oh, Johnny there needs to be careful. Chowie actually going to go dive in onto him. These chains are going to proc off. Jay will be there to knock him up after. It's a decent little flay, but will it be enough to get away as soon as Chowie's cooldowns come back up? Boom. As we see that, he will be finishing him off. And that's killing spree now for Chowie. 3-0-0. That's going to be a scary LeBlanc.
Yeah, just great support play by Jay. He's always there when the kills happen, and he's actually doing a super good job of roaming around and knowing where to be when.
Yeah, and one thing you don't want with a LeBlanc is to get him fed. And well, he's 3-0. Just 10 minutes gone into this game. The DFG's still in the game, remember, for this patch. Yeah, and it absolutely will be coming out in a moment.
I'm not sure if he's going for the DFG, because that's something high-level play on LeBlanc didn't really do. DFG was a very overrated item on her, even when it was good. Usually Morellonomicon into like the death cap is the more common build.
Shouldn't speak ill of the dead. DFG is now an officially a dead thing, a dead item. Gone to its resting place along with the Heart of Gold.
God bless the Heart of Gold.
Sad time.
The, what was that ridiculously broken item you used to be able to use on
Which
Odia?
one?
One that changed every time you changed form, it healed you.
The locket.
The locket. Innovative locket. It was a ridiculous item. Anyway.
Oh, Shelby, you're going to be caught out underneath the tower. I think he's a dead man as well. Chains will go off, and, well, his mid lane is just kind of like, I'm trying to help out, but I can't really do anything. As Morning here going to use Wild Growth. I'm not sure he's got the damage, but Jay is going to come in there. We'll get the slow down, but have they got the damage? Of course they do. Meanwhile, Lupin's just 1 against Mazui down in that bottom lane. They don't seem too happy about it just yet. It's best of 3 though, so, you know, not getting too overconfident. But they are spanking Avant-Garde at this point. 6-0.
This is not pretty. This is not pretty to watch. A 4-0 LeBlanc in the middle, as you said, did go for the Morellonomicon and makes that a 5-0. A very easy 5-0 at that.
TPA is just crushing every single lane just because they're pretty much outclassing the opponent right now. But yeah, I wouldn't want to play against the LeBlanc with 5-0. It's probably pretty much over at this point for the mid lane.
The irony is, though, it's like the mid lane is 0-0-0 and actually out farming, but it's like, come on, guys!
Yeah. Report the jungler for dying.
Report Shelby for feeding. He's only a temp sub anyway, so they'll happily pick on him. But you can see, of course, Kenta is trying to do what he can, but when you're up against a 5-0 mid laner who actually has rotated to the top lane.
Yeah, I actually like what they're doing here right now. Corki finished the Triforce and has his power spike at 11 minutes already. So if you have that Corki in mid lane, he can just take out the tower fairly easy. And like no one can one-on-one LeBlanc anymore at this point. Even Aurelia can't do anything. So setting up the lanes correctly to have the most pressure out of the situation is very good here.
Wins. Just spotting Porky there. Porky and Corky in one game. Get confusing on that one. But LeBlanc's now moved up towards that top lane, and that's the thing. Like, how do you stop him really pushing your lane out when that LeBlanc should be able to just 1v1 you, just kill you off straight away? And you see the Phage makings of the Sheen for Porky, but really not a lot to work with at this stage. Of course, the first Dragon did go over to TPA earlier on, and it shouldn't be too far away off actually coming back up.
Well, the tower's about to go down, and Porky's wasn't making tracks away from that one. Will actually get away, though. Pretty poor gank attempt, honestly, from TPA. But Porky moving back in. Not the right choice, I feel, because TPA are closing in numbers. Oh, True Shot Barrage is going to come across. Not going to quite catch on towards it. Porky will get locked up. In comes Lupin to clean up. Chowie got taken low, but it was only the Mimic.
Yeah, not a pretty fight once again. Thought they'd maybe taken a little bit too much there, but we'll end with a 2-0. TPA yet to even give up a kill, and certainly if, you know, there's a lot of fans there, obviously, the Taipei Game Show, come to watch the local big team, I guess we can safely call the Taipei Assassins. So far, they are definitely putting on a show for them. Corky here, even working on that turret in the second tier turret. As Jay's going to come around as well. I think that Shelby might be in trouble.
Well, they're only 6,000 gold ahead. Just 15 minutes into this game. And every time that Avant Garde, they're just trying a little bit too much to get those kills. And, well, Junie, you're hooked in Jay, but I think that may actually cost you your own life. Jay might go down. Oh. The first kill of the game for Avant Garde. They do actually get one. I thought I heard booing there. The crowd, I was like, are they booing? They just got themselves a kill. Oh, Junie low. Uh-oh, here comes trouble. Chowie comes around the side. He's trying to pick up one. Can he get a second? He looks like he will. No, stolen away by Corky. Oh, they get a second kill. It's 12-2. It's a destruction derby for TPA here. This is very much a one-sided game.
Not really a lot to add to that statement, because quite frankly, pretty true at this point. We're not even
7-0 mid laner, 16 minutes in. That's not good.
Yeah,
it's not good.
I think we might have seen this game.
Oh, look at that! The Soul Stealer for morning.
Yeah, this game might be swiftly finishing once we hit the 20-minute mark. I feel that's another ultimate from Wins straight into the back of the red buff, and we'll be taking that one out. Meanwhile, Chowie is gonna. No, I thought he was moving in for the steal there. I'm not sure why he really wins. Would need any help at that point, but you can see there for TPA, a lot of wards picked up on that last back. They're going to try and completely strangle out this map.
Let's just compare like the sheer differences. Aurelia yet to complete the Triforce, while his counterpart Morning has the Morello Icon, has the Soul Stealer, has the Boots of Lucidity. He's just miles behind, absolutely miles behind, and it's the same across all the lanes. There's just such a huge difference. Trinity Force still not completed by Mazui, while the counterpart Lupin, he's already got the Triforce, and he's got a BF sword on there. There's just massive difference. They can't counter for this Dragon. This is going to be a simple pickup for TPA. And really for Avant Garde, it's a case of, what the hell do we do next game? Because this one is over.
Just talk about the next game. Don't think about this game. Just play it out for like 3 more minutes and then press the surrender button pretty much.
Well, we'll see if they do. At the moment, I'm seeing Cassidy off on the right-hand side of the screen that Lupin is looking to collapse in towards. Or is he actually going to try and gank him? No, it's not. He's sticking in the bush. He may go for it.
Yeah, Jay started to kind of come across from there, but I think in the end decided, no, we probably can't lock him up. But this middle turret, that's a different story, because we've got a full wave of minions coming in, which will be almost wiped out there, thanks to that True Shot Barrage. And, well, they managed to keep the turret alive, but it's a case of for how long, really. That one already taken masses of damage, and they'll wait for just one more minion wave to come around. Should be able to finish that one. Of course, they just got that second Dragon buff as well, which means that they get that more tower damage coming in and be able to push things a lot easier now. That turret's down, I think, in the next couple of seconds. That wave now has started to move in. They've held on to that bottom lane, but they sent 3 people pretty much down to that one. End up losing now that mid lane turret, and they need to be careful that they don't get collapsed on in their own jungle.
Oh, look at the speed they can make going across there. They're trying to catch onto Jay, and it's just going to simply backfire. Shelby goes down. Chowie makes it the 8th kill of the game. And this is all looking too easy for the Taipei Assassins. They are the dominant champions from their region. Good lord. Mazui, I should say, getting caught out by the change. Just a simple one spell. That's all that was. One spell for Chowie. And he just destroys him. That's the blue buff for him. Keep them cooldowns ticking with the Morellonomicon. He's going to be at 30-odd% already. This is not looking good for Avant. 33%.
Yeah, I think he's just gone back, just picks up the Void Staff now.
Yeah, there's no point going for the Death Cap. There's just might as well just get the quick cheap item. Scream as he runs in towards the Dragon. Not just yet. It's going to be clearing that out. 20-minute mark, almost at it. Will they go for the surrender? That's the question.
So we're actually looking at a almost 10k gold deficit for Avant, and like sub 20 minutes, it's not looking good.
No, that's possibly an understatement at this point.
This is one of those games that if it was a scrim between teams, you'd just be like, sorry, we're not on it. Can we start again?
Start again. Yeah. Oh, not in Korea though.
Chowie almost getting caught out there, and actually you see him flashing, doesn't want to get shut down, and why not? He's 8-0-2 at this point. Kassadin might actually face a couple of problems.
They're going to get the mid-turret.
They're actually going to make a push here. They may just pick their first turret up of the game. There you go, finally finishing that one down. However, they might be losing the inner turret in their bottom lane. Are they going to stay around? They are going to stay around. Got another minion wave coming across. Let's see if they can take this tier 2 tower.
Wow, they are going to get it. They've turned around and quickly pushed in there. The question is, can they get out alive? Oh, they didn't finish the turret off. And now they're trying to run away. There's a Lulu heading straight towards them. Avant might be just channeled completely into a stopping point. Morning not actually going to go in towards them. It will be Porky they're going to focus on. Meanwhile, Chowie does get hooked up. He goes legendary, gets himself his 9th kill of the game. There's going to be another. Mazui will go down to loop it. And they are just wrecking face right now. Porky's going to get locked up. Morning comes around. Chowie finishes it off with a 10th kill. And those stacks are also starting to go on towards that Soul Stealer. TPA, suddenly you thought Avant had got something going. Something good was working out for them, but instead they are just getting destroyed on the way out.
Feel bad for Chelby there. Actually, support completely trolled him because he hooked in LeBlanc. He's trying to run away from the chains, and he actually pulled him closer so that the chains actually procced and killed him off. So that's a nice way to die, I suppose. But again, bunch more kills coming in. Chowie has now hit double figures in terms of kills. 10-0-2. You got a 5-0, 580 carry. Your top laners 1-0-4. Really just a matter of time here until TPA can actually finish off this game. There is Rek'Sai. Where's he going? Oh, I thought he was going to the back of the enemy jungle, but not quite as exciting as I thought.
Not a lot to say about this one, really.
It's not often that we're not talking.
It's 17-2. 22 minutes in. Please do /surrender, because I think that's what's required. While it's not even considered BM right now, because they are getting destroyed. And it's one. It would not be fun for them to play in. I don't think either in the opposition. It's one of those games you just want to forget about and move on. They need to be thinking, what do we ban? Because actually they had fairly solid bans. You know, they went for the standard bans in there. There was a Lysandra ban. I'm trying to think what else they went for. I've shot myself in the foot now because I can't remember the 3 bans they went for.
I think Nah and
yes, yeah.
Lysandra.
Nah, Lysandra and it may have been Lee Sin or something like that. But anyway, they were fairly regular standard bans that you would expect. So Avant are got to be looking at this and thinking, well, we probably... Oh, Kassadin was in there. We probably should have banned out LeBlanc, clearly, because Chowie seems to be good on that one. Oh, they're all going to about go down here. Yeah, Kassadin wasn't banned out because it was picked.
At this point...
Thanks for that one, Joe. Just pointing out the obvious. At this point, though, this is just like over. I mean, look at that. That's just... 4 for 1. Amazing, they actually gave 1 away. Jay getting caught out. Look at him feeding. 2 deaths. Dirty feeder. Report, please. 21-3, and they are going to take the inhib down. The question is, will they finish the game right now?
Yeah, I think for the next game, the picks and bans really don't matter at all, because the skill the difference between every single position in this game is just too huge to just overcome, as we have seen in this game.
I think we're seeing why TPA are the big favourites for this. I mean, while they actually didn't finish top in their region in the qualifiers, AHQ did, which is why they're in the semi-finals. Clearly, TPA are outclassing Avant right now.
Avant just has to go with like comfort picks probably next game to see if they can even have a slight chance and just use it as experience to see how they perform in their like regional league.
Yeah, I think you're right on that one. You know, go for comfort pick, see how far you can push TPA, and just use that experience. As Chowie just gonna blow up one, wins will take the second one, and well, that's 11 kills on the board now as Corki doesn't care here, just gonna dive over the top of the wall. Will he finish off Kenster? Actually, Phosphorus Bomb didn't connect there. Takes a bit of damage back, but Chowie getting aggressive. There's a true shot barrage coming in, was well aimed, but actually didn't get the kill for them. There's Kenster. He comes out. They managed to get the shutdown finally here on towards Lupin. That'll be his first death of this game. 7-1-8. TPA gonna actually back away. I think it was a 3-for-1 in their favor in the end, maybe even 4. I don't know if Chowie went down.
Chowie got his 12th kill of the game there, though, so not going so well. They're going to try to close down, see if they can stop them back in. Did he catch him? I don't think he caught Chowie. No, he didn't. Chowie backs off. So 24-4. Well, who'd have thought it? A 14,000 gold difference just 24.5 minutes into this game. TPA still playing it out seriously, making sure.
Just go Baron and finish the game, to be honest.
That seems to be where Wins is going. He's going to ward it out, and they're not going to kill it, though. Bearing in mind, this is 5.1. The Baron is weaker at last. It was a bit of a monster mid-game around this time before.
It's fairly easy to, especially if you have such an advantage. You can easily do 20-minute Barons right now with the nerfed version of it.
Well, that's exactly what's going to happen. Started off here. True Shot Barrage does come through. That will give them basically a brief look into the future where TPA roll on into their base with buffed up minions and cause them all kinds of problem. That is that Baron going down, and there's a 15,000 gold lead. 25 minutes in. Tough start to the game for Avant Garde.
I can't remember the last time I've seen such a gold deficit at like 20 minutes.
It's a tough one for Avant Garde, there's no doubt about it, the Oceanic region. Well, I wouldn't say not being very well represented here, they're just being outclassed by TPA. Clearly showing why, obviously, this region has been involved in the World Championships for the last 3 years. Obviously, won it back in Season 2. Long time ago now, though. Very different team, very different players. Chowie, of course, back then was actually on Singapore Sentinels, I think, when TPA won the Season 2 championship. Of course, now he is that mid laner. Famous for his push-up video, I think it was, if I remember. Whoa, hello! They do manage to get themselves one kill. Chowie quickly turns around and gets a kill in return, though. And while it was the Lulu that got caught off guard there with that death sentence, coming out of the new gates. I can't even remember the actual name of them there, that new. Chowie's little mimic trying to get caught out. Jay hooked up. Are they going to follow through? They have got Triforces, which is where you saw that burst of power come from for Avant Garde, but that's about all they're going to get. It was a 1-for-1.
What do we think to the new gates? What do they add much in there?
They're really good if the match is more even and you have a siege going on. Then they actually open up the possibilities of flanks way better.
Yeah.
So it's actually really good for defending teams. Also, you go to the Baron and Dragon Pit much faster that way, and like have like a couple of seconds where it's actually like really good for the jungler to get in and get a smite steal or something. I actually had like some experience with that in solo queue, where it actually helps out to to get to the pits a lot quicker.
Oh, Chowie got away. Got himself the 14th kill of the game. Continues to... Oh, cooldowns are back. Careful, he might go for another one. He's going to come around the side in a minute. See if he can pick up anything more. Uh-oh, that's not good. Porky's going down. Corky's actually starting to rack up some serious kills now. He's 9-1-9.
So yeah, that should be the finishing push probably of the game.
You'd think so.
Yeah, minions coming in there with them as well. I'm sure they're going to go hunting for another couple of kills right at the end here, but we are going to see that first Nexus turret going down. There is Wins trying to get on towards Mazui. Chowie will look for some more in the end. He gets himself one more as well to put him up to 15-0-7. We also see Lupin hit 10, and that will be Taipei Assassins picking up game number 1 here in more than convincing fashion, I think it's safe to say. 28-minute game. 30-5 in kills, 20,000, give or take a couple of thousand gold by the end of it. That was stomp.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
that's not what the word stomp was invented for, I'm afraid.
I think it actually took them longer to set up than actually to play that game out, because they were in dominant form, and as you said, Dexter, they won out every single lane. That was the problem there. Once you start losing every single lane, even the jungle getting full control, I think they were very happy with their picks, no doubt about it. Chowie seemingly showing them how it's done in that mid lane. But it wasn't just the mid lane. Obviously, the AD carry was doing a great job. The jungler was doing a great job. They just had good ward coverage and just dominated.
There's not much to say. Just completely outclassed on every single position. And yeah, picks don't matter at that point. Like, even going into the next game, I don't think the picks matter that much, because if you're that much better than the opponent, then you can just pick whatever you want and yeah, pretty much just stomp the game like we saw here.
Time for a little bit of cheese, I feel, from Avant Garde. I think they're going to have to pull out something very special here. We are going to go to a break, though, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Intel Extreme Masters Taipei. It is the qualifiers, the quarterfinals, I should say, not the qualifiers, the quarterfinals. TPA are 1-0 up. Will they make it 2? We'll find out in just a few moments.